Hello and welcome to Vampire the Masquerade, Malta by Night. I am Don Chap, your storyteller, and with me we have a familiar face throughout the whole season.
It's
Luke,
your boy.
known as Frank in our campaign, and with him he has brought along a new set of kindred to my table. Gentlemen, lady, would you like to introduce yourselves? Frank, maybe you want to show us how it's done?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Luke Caruana, long-time role player of Vampire the Masquerade. It was my first drug, and then I got into D&D instead of the other way around. And with me today are my very much beloved high clans of my campaign. We have uh, Jake Buttigieg, Matthias Zamit, and Mireille. I forgot your surname,
Aruja.
sorry. Faruja.
Oh, that's such a rare
We
surname.
play in another
Yeah.
game.
Sorry.
We play a very. These guys know each other very much, so they know how to get with each other. Um, they bicker a lot in my game, but they love them. And we're here with a caitiff for Matthias, a Malkavian for Jake, and Mireille is playing a Toreador. I'll let them introduce their characters to their delight.
Smooth and silky. I like it. Who wants to go first? I think Jake has the
I'll do it.
experience as well with
I'll,
being on my table
I'll do it.
before.
Yeah, I've been involved. I've been around the block, town bike type of thing. I'm Jake. I'm playing Mr. Johnny Kassar, a school teacher turned vampire.
I'm playing Maggie, his ex-student, and now local influencer.
Nice to meet you all. My name is Matthias, and I will be playing Roland, a caitiff baron of Zebbug.
Nice and tidy. I like this. All right. So, for any of you who have been watching the whole thing, you probably remember Frank knocking on a door in Zebuch and being greeted by a fellow kindred. That was, I think, episode somewhere in the 15 or 16. You're going to have to double check that for me. But that's what happened. Now he's no longer with the courtier of St. Julian's, which was, the main stars, Mumbles, and so forth. And here we are. The person greeting him at the door was Roland. Guys, I'll leave the scene to you.
Good evening, Mr. Camille. Good evening, Francis, and welcome.
Good evening, Roland. You see Francis with his clothes all bloody, torn, and basically holding his bowels, and just leans in and gets out of the way for not breaking the masquerade. He's holding his stomach. He's in a very decrepit state. But he comes into your house, looks you in the eye, kind of puts his hand on your shoulder to support himself.
Up you get. Come on. Roland will lead you.
Roland.
Glad to hear. Can I get you anything? Some blood? A new set of clothes?
I say yes to both.
Lovely.
Nice.
Please, come in. So Roland would sort of support Frank as he leads him into the room. There's a small room before the main area. He'll lead him into there, get him some blood, give him some time to tidy himself up before presenting him to Roland's guests.
He gulps the blood, and you see the disgust on his face, and then he's like forcing, stomaching it in like a medicine.
Fair enough.
Eventually, he stabilizes a little bit.
At your leisure,
So-
at your leisure, Frank.
He follows you. I guess you're leading him to the main room, I imagine.
Quite right. I'll be moving it on the map. So we walk into the room, I imagine, and I see Mirai's character and Jake's character. I tell them, "Good evening, all. We have a guest with us tonight."
Oh, do we?
That we do.
Roland,
Well,
I'm sure you've heard of it.
what is all that commotion outside? What kind of guests are you getting today?
None other than Mr. Camalair himself. Francis, do introduce yourself to Miss Maggie and Mr. Professor Johnny over here. Two very esteemed and welcomed guests to me.
Professor Johnny.
Wait, does he round around the corner? Can we actually see him?
I would
He
imagine so.
he still leans on Roland a little bit. Professor.
Does he look fine? Does he look like beaten up?
he's still bleeding,
He
right?
looks very
Profusely.
beaten up.
Okay, just so like he sees them going like as you say, oh my blood no. Roland,
Ew! We need to get him cleaned up.
I already gave him a new set of clothes. I gave him a new set of clothes, and I'm sure Francis has a good reason for all of this. Come, take a seat.
take a
Are
seat.
those
My
the
God,
best clothes you can give him?
try not to spill your intestines over the carpet. Oh dear. Some
Let me
Oh.
check something.
You know, in your state, the body would usually go into anaphylactic shock, but you're a vampire, so it should be fine for you. You might feel a little tingly, do you?
Ooh. Whenever I roll power to fail, I always succeed badly. You might hear, and probably Maggie would understand it. You might hear Francis mumble something under his breath, and it, out of character, Jake knows it. You hear exactly these words. When you just go into the hole, and it's from 50 Cent. It says, "Go get your refund. This motherfucker ain't dead." From, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And you never had my kind of coterie, have you, Professor? You have esteemed, sophisticated kindred in your entourage.
Esteemed and sophisticated.
Maggie just punches him.
An awful soul. But a funny one. Thank you for bringing him, Roland. Lovely man.
I'm sure he is. After all, we've heard much about him, haven't we? All good things, Francis, rest assured.
Almost no things, Francis, to be quite honest with you.
Well,
Tell us about yourself. What brings you here, dying and bleeding?
Francis just looks. Francis is in a weird position because he's usually the one being the Johnny of the party. So now he's like found his match of sorts. And it's like, you do know something about irreconcilable differences, yes?
Would I know? Would any of you know?
I don't even know what that means, if I'm being honest.
Please, you're always good at English. Tell him. Roland, you know only English. You tell me. What does irreconcilable difference mean?
Well, an irreconcilable difference, simply put, means that there is a shift between the two, one that cannot be repaired, if I'm not mistaken. After all, I'm not a professor of sorts, so you will have to correct me if I'm mistaken.
Oh, he will. He will.
The fact that I have not been so is a pleasure, truly. And what about this irreparable difference? What do you mean by it, Frank?
It's simple and it's complicated.
An oxymoron if there ever was one. But I digress. We have... Well, I believe more detail would certainly be
We
obliged.
have way too many kindred where we do not want them.
Hmm.
You speak about the current Baron of Pieta?
Amongst other things. Then there are the zealots in Rabat. There's way too many of them. And then there's us and some other fellow Malkavians. Looks at the professor. Would I know if he's a Malkavian? Because usually, up to dawn, but usually the Malkavians have the ping of the cobweb to kind of, if we want to add some spice to it.
If Johnny would allow it
Mhm.
to be recognized
Absolutely.
as such, I'll allow it. But if he doesn't want to, then
Uh,
there's no
no.
way to identify.
No, Johnny's ping is always on, as far as he's concerned. Like, he doesn't know how to turn it off.
Okay. So there you
If
go.
he has.
Mm.
Would Johnny recognize Frank as a Malki?
I think Frank announced
Mhm.
that for himself. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
The two
Fantastic.
pinged, Bluetooth connected. Nice.
So what are you suggesting exactly, Frank?
I'm suggesting what I should have done with my other coterie a long time ago. As comfortable as the policy of neutrality is, and here he'll be thinking of probably the professor given his age and background and political nuance of saying neutrality in Malta. There's been a major shift of the balance of power.
Mm.
And the problem is that these people, Professor, they do not read enough Machiavelli. They do not know about the acquisition and the retention of power. Do I speak proper English now?
Yes, yes. Question. So, if I understand correctly what you're planning, the current... He thinks for a second. The current homicide rate in Malta is about 0.9 homicides per capita. Are you suggesting that we
beg
bump that number up?
differ.
Now you're talking my
Okay.
language.
Well, there could be that possibility, but as the Baron rightly knows, the Masquerade is supreme.
Mhm.
And there's a certain elegance in executing these people without making a mess.
Mhm.
Quite
You
right.
do not want to
course.
make a mess, would you, Professor? Get the chalk in front of, you
Mhm.
don't want to get the chalk on your corduroy, would you?
Mhm. Very good
Oh, no.
answer.
Now, before we get to executing, we need some other things. But I've been talking quite enough. What about you? What do you know about this whole situation? You've been, no doubt, taking notes, Professor. Footnotes and references and statistics.
I haven't been taking notes. I'll be quite honest with you. You'll understand something very important, because you're a Malkavian like me. You see, when you're like you're tied to the machinations of politics. When you're a Malkavian like me, you're tied to the machinations of the mind. Now, I'll leave it up to the rest, because the gentlewoman and the gentleman here know a lot better than I do what is going on.
What are you talking about? I literally follow you because you guide me all the time.
Roland, perhaps, would you brief the gentleman if you are so inculcated?
But of course. Well, speaking of the zealots in Rabat, was it? He speaks about the Hells Angels. We know very well that they used to be they had the monopoly in the narcotics. With the gangrel mafia having taken over Pieta, this creates another, well, invasion in the market, so
I'm
to
not
speak.
sure if they've taken over, but they certainly had plans to take over. And
Well, I
those
would
plans
assume.
involve shipping kindreds to Malta, no less.
Well, that's what if there was one. Right. Well, we cannot take that risk for certain, and therefore we must snip it at the bud. I say that we should not waste any unnecessary lives or blood dealing with the matter. What do you know about the Hells Angels?
They are led by a guy named Carlos. They are around كم كانوا دون 12 or around 10 for sure.
Their numbers went down to 9.
Still. I mean, if it were up to me, there wouldn't be 9 kindred in Malta, but here we are with 9 zealots. Then we had several other parental issues, shall we say, with a Russian and a Sicilian and someone from goddamn England coming over because of his Toreador child, but
What about
well,
this
that's
fellow
been
from
taken.
England?
He's been taking care. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Understood.
Funky.
Pardon?
Funk to Funky. It's an old David Bowie song. You should listen to it.
David Bowie.
Come on, you know who. You have to know.
Excuse me. How can you not know who David Bowie is?
I think you mentioned him to me. That's besides the point. I fear that I'm being sidetracked. What did I mean?
He's called the Babe.
Just so the viewers
The Babe.
understand.
Babe with the power.
Despite that,
Are you not British?
despite that Professor Johnny Cassard looks like the oldest amongst them, actually Roland is the oldest because he died somewhere in World War II.
Yep, 1940 something, baby.
Maggie's the most recently embraced, so just so people
Baby.
understand what the dynamics really are here.
She's still the Babe with the power, am I right?
Well,
don't know.
enough with the.
For the audience, it's an old joke between us. Because someone has his character like David Bowie. Oh, yes. So the guy from England is dealt with.
Good.
The guy from
And-
Russia is dealt with. And it's
Sicilian?
rather convenient. Oh no, Russia. The Sicilians are the unwanted guests, shall we say. That's the gangrels infiltrating the mafia. But it's a fairly simple premise. Because power is not just about acquiring it, it's about keeping it.
That's right.
You would.
And taking it away where it doesn't need to be.
Politics is much like a gun, you simply need to know when to shoot. Speaking of, gentlemen, there is the question about the power vacuum in Slema. It is barrenness.
There are some kindred in Slim I can reach out. Ironically, one is a Malkavian like us, and the other is a
Like
one
us.
of you, Maggie. One of you, yes.
Hmm.
She takes care of the circulatory system. It's a very comfortable position she's in, you know, slim out tourists,
I would love to meet
alcohol,
her.
sex, and sleep.
I think that is probably for the best. I believe that we should. Maggie, I think if we were to place you in Slim, that would be wise. After all, we have our own set of eyes and ears there, and, well, it would be always good to know. And, should we need it, you may rise to the occasion.
So,
I agree.
Roland, you mean to make Baronless Slima Baron full?
I mean, it would not hurt to simply seal the vacuum.
You direct and I shall follow. Sounds like a good time. You know, there's a lot of EF students down in Slima. Those English as a
EF?
foreign language types. Yes, I'm
Too
quite
true.
interested in them.
Too true, all the more true. And I believe with Maggie, although she is young, she has shown great promise. After all, you, more than I, were a teacher to her.
Of course. Maggie, you'd love them. There are a couple of boys down there that look like they're close to
Thank you.
dying. Your exact type.
Perfect. Just my type. I like this idea.
Very
As
well.
long as we can take
All-
many pictures for my page.
as many pictures as you wish.
Perfect.
Very well then, on to more subjects. With that out of the way. So there are the Hells Angels, the Zealots. What else was there?
There's an unsavory matter concerning Malkavians.
That being?
Have
Being
you felt
hunted out.
You felt it. Have you felt it in the pull of the web?
He just stares at you with this and he goes, yes.
Madness.
Hunted out, you said?
There was one case in Attard. And then there was another sheriff who, well, he was Camarilla though, and he had a big bad plan, so he was not an unwelcome number of the list, but there were plans. We managed to stop them. We did good things, you know, before it all went to downhill, but
Oh, that I'm sure.
news has it that the Baron of Baltan, Baron Jason, is being harassed by none other than the head honcho of the circulatory system. We can't allow that level of professionalism be tempered with such pettiness.
We speak of
He
the
asked me
inspector, correct?
to... Yes, the Tremere. He asked my coterie to go have a chat with her. I'm not sure what they did since then, but I've only left them, what, an hour ago, so I wouldn't know. They were busy cleaning up the mess that Michael left.
That who left?
Michael or Mikael. The gangrel who decided he wanted to play Josef Mengele, you know.
I see.
Who?
Dan
We did
Frangos
it in
looks in,
history. We did it in history, Maggie. You know who Josef Mengele is? Think.
Uh, um. Oh yeah, now I remember. Definitely.
something to do with rewriting the genetic code of kindred. But anyways, all that is behind us. This is the. You know how in films it's always the good guys win, the bad guys lose, and then it's the ashes, and then there's the credits rolling. This is the part sequel, the prequel, the one next, number 2 or number 3,
Equal.
The sequel.
sequel. Thank you, Maggie. This is much more your language than it is mine. So we need a cast for it. We need main actors, and we need support characters, and we need. We have the villains. We just need the heroes.
I have
Or
a question
are we the
for-
good guys?
But we can be.
I have a good question for you, Frank. Because I think you would get it. You would get it just as much as I would. So, have you ever read Moby Dick? You know,
The Great White Way.
yes, about madness and revenge. And and at one point, you know, the Captain Ahab, he says, you know, human madness is oftentimes a cunning and most feline thing. Now, what I want to ask you is this a move of madness to just come here unannounced? Is this the revenge speaking, or is there something bigger?
There's always something bigger, Professor. Because I do not want to reign on a throne of ashes. You understand what I'm saying, yes? The dead drive will make way. There will be reincarnation. Like the Dionysian madness, if you will, and then it will be replaced by the Apollonian.
Call me Ishmael.
I,
Call me
I,
Ishmael.
I'm just blowing up to
Any
Jake
idea
now.
what they're talking about, Roland?
Briefly.
Call me Ishmael.
Whatever they're
Call me
saying, it
Ishmael.
sounds ugly.
Oh,
It is interesting, I must admit.
Roland, a quick question.
You understand my.
Sorry?
A quick question to you. Seeing as you are obviously the heads of this particular region, also the fact that your region has survived through all the political wars because of the, you know, see no evil, hear no evil, therefore do no evil. How do you feel about Frank walking in all of a sudden talking about, you know, setting things straight?
I feel like that there is not really a necessity to barge in unless it directly influences us. We've had a quite true neutral stance so far. He truly caught his attention when he mentioned the circulatory system and how the Baron of Zabbar, correct, Jason? When he mentioned that. Balsan, sorry, thank you. When he mentioned that. Also the fact that the Baron of Pieta plans to import potentially or kindred also worries him a little bit about that neutrality being at stake. Was to cut it off at the bud while he's still at it. What else is there? Again, see no evil, do no evil. He wants it to remain that way unless he is forced to take action.
Okay, interesting to get the mindset of the leader on the table. Carry on. Sorry.
No,
The Barons are the Baron.
Yeah, fundamentally, that's also like Johnny's point. That's why he's going like Ahab and Ishmael on Frank. It's like, hey, like, why do you want this? Why do you want to drag us into like a revenge plot that we have nothing to do with? You're gonna lead us to our
We're just
death.
showing off here, yeah.
I figured as much.
And Frank appreciates the nuance of this. And There is an answer to your question, Professor. And I even have the reference if you like. But I don't think you'll like the answer any better than I do. It's because Machiavelli said that you only postpone war to your disadvantage. If Baron Roland does nothing, and which is in itself a strategy and a tactic of sorts, I'm not saying he will win or he will lose, but he will certainly be affected. If on the other hand he starts to take a good look at the fringes of his territory and what's happening beyond these four walls, there was always the notion of cities with walls and safe havens. I realized that someone taking over Pieta and not doing it wisely is not a good idea. The good news is very simple, Professor. It's because the people who have taken over Pieta, they're not like you and me. They're not like Roland. They're not like Maggie even. They just go in guns blazing and then hope for the best. You can almost imagine them saying a Hail Mary beneath their breath, but I doubt they will believe such things. But it's always that way. They mess up and then they expect us to fix it and then water under the bridge. We cannot have that. Not with the Masquerade. Now I don't intend to lose, Professor. I do not intend to lose at all, which is why I want the Baron of Balzan at my side. There's also the Baron of Meliha, who's very, very powerful and happens to be my clan sister of sorts. And I am sure that Maggie will have a lot of things to say to her in common. Very... A little bit old school perhaps, but she always was mistaken for one of you guys. Very polite, very prim, very proper.
Roland?
So here I am offering you the hand of friendship. If that will not suffice, we can talk 4-digit or 5-digit, possibly 6-digit figures. You know what I mean?
Now we're talking.
I thought as much.
Francis, what do you know about history?
History. History is the tale of the winner. And it shall be kind to us if we intend to write it.
You could say
What
that.
do you want to say?
What do you know of Switzerland within the Second World War?
Second World War not so much. Renaissances, they stayed neutral and all they created was the cuckoo clock.
And yet Switzerland is what it is. It survived. It was neutral, really. It did no evil for it saw no evil. And that is what I believe, well, that's how a baron should rule. Unless it affects him, why should he? After all, the barons are barons because they are competent. I'm sure they can handle things on their own turf. However, should the barbarians arrive at our gates, we will handle them. If it is a chance for us to make allegiances, because it is a problem that affects both my baroncy and the baroncy of another, then sure, of course. I want to take your hand in friendship, Francis, but like Professor Johnny said, I understand you are graced with the virtues of common sense and competence, but revenge plots, well, I do not plan to dig any more unnecessary graves.
So we just plan to stay here. Safe. Boring.
I never said
We've
that.
been here for so long. We're not going to
We
get
will-
anywhere unless we do something.
And we will take action. However, I do not want to risk any more. You saw what happened to the Hells Angels, they were 12 and now they are 9. What type of
You're also
Baron would I
very
be?
brash. No, fair.
What
But
Baron
what
would
would
I
you
be
do with this opportunity?
with this opportunity?
Because
Well,
chaos lies at the hand of opportunity.
quite right. Well, for starters, we can tell that the Hells Angels and the current foreign invaders, or we should call them such, there is a conflict of opportunity between the two, and they are trying to invade the same market. I say we find a way to keep our hands out of the mess and let them tire themselves out. We will swoop in, and when they are tired, under the cover of night, and dispatch them.
Can
Firstly,
we
we will
somehow
deal with.
trigger it to happen faster?
Of course, we can.
Would
This is an
you
opportunity.
Complete.
Proceed.
Would you in your nice neutral barony have had any unexplained masquerade breaches you had to cover up recently?
As of late, I do not.
Possibly certain homeless people gone missing, or maybe not homeless people, usually men. There's a particular fondness for certain men.
Would we know
Right.
about this?
As a, would we
Yeah.
know about this?
What are we referring to?
Frank out of character is yes, because you know that a certain character from my former coterie had a very annoying habit of killing someone, and then she'd be like, "Well, it happened." But I'm not like tipo, when she disappeared, we don't not know where she went or if she encroached on any other barony and caused the big boo boo.
Alright, so we're talking about Tatiana here. No news of Tatiana. Last she was seen was with you guys, and there's been no real news of her.
Oh, just asking, Ash, for see nothing.
Then again,
It could be not even her.
Then again, it's been a night, so it's not like too many nights passed, in the game. So this is like literally the night after.
Oh, so we probably wouldn't know yet.
No.
As a,
Well, I
we
can let
haven't heard
you.
of it.
Yeah.
Should keep an eye for them.
So, of the other coterie, would we have any? Like, do we know who they are? Do we have any issue with them? Like, as us three,
Well, there's Mumbles to begin with, of course.
Do we have an issue with Mumbles?
He
Mumbles
simply
is very my way or the highway type of kindred.
Yeah.
and she is working with.
Mhm.
And she's working with the mafia, which could be the foreign kindred, and she has the. Would I know, out of character, of course, that she has the laptop of Norman?
No, you only heard of Norman's passing, but you're not quite sure what happened to his resources, so to speak.
Alright. So my main issue with Mumbles as Roland would be the potential invasion of foreign kindred, correct?
Yeah.
And possible. You don't know what she knows about you. I don't know what she knows about you guys either. Because she has sources which I don't have.
Do you know of these sources?
Well, I can tell you that she had foreign kindred, at least 3. One of them is dead now, by her own hand. Oh, Professor, you should have seen the revenge back there. You see the loss of agency and the individual. You see the shouting and the growling and the tearing of flesh, and then the desperation. It was almost something out of a film, like Cruella de Vil berating her minions because, my god, those other kindred, they were her minions. Even my coterie mate, she treated everyone like a minion. But
I mean, that's like a popular. That's like a popular film. The children really like, isn't that? The Minions.
Yes, indeed,
Minions?
Professor.
well, yes, there's
The Minions.
there isn't the
They're
same
like
level of
these.
intelligence though. Yes,
There's.
the
So I
They're
think
like
you were
white,
talking
the
about
yellow
Cruella de
ones.
Vil.
I come from a different age, eh? Yes, the yellow ones. Yes.
Yes,
The
yes. The
one with the
children
great
love them.
face.
Mhm.
But minions and
Patata, patata.
devils aside, is there anyone else who might have gone rogue, such as yourself?
There's one who's gone missing. Who I don't know what happened to her. We could
You
seize her assets, and that's how we get the 6-digit figures I was hinting about.
understandable. Who is this individual?
She calls herself Athena.
Athena.
Bella.
Oh gosh.
Her
Carry on.
real surname is a De Piro. And that's all you'll never know, and that's all you need to know.
Interesting.
She's a little bit like Maggie, but much more British.
And what are the circumstances of her disappearance?
She's the one that was chased by her sire, and she had her butler turned into a kindred by Mikhail the Gangrel. It was a big mess. You are
And do you know
starting
what-
to understand why I had to leave the former pack. Yes,
It sounds very dysfunctional, to say the least.
And that's
you
being
can say
generous.
that again.
What is the nature or last whereabouts of Athena's sire and the butler?
Sire is dead.
Hmm.
The butler is in the hands of a Tremere.
The
A
Tremere being
Camarilla Tremere. Old school. Where is he on? Birgu, Medina, one of those areas. Birgu.
Virgo.
Well, then that
She
is
has
the
an
Masquerade.
autopsy on the thing.
Well, and that is the Masquerade taken care of.
And where does the 6 figures come in?
The 6 figures.
Straight to the point. I love it.
I mean, girl's got to have her money. Yo. It's with Athena's assets and taking them down, if you know what I mean. You
So
know
we're going
how
to
it
steal
is.
from her.
Story. It could be that, so we're merely commandeering assets, and then if she turns up, we'll be like, look what we did with your money. Isn't it beautiful?
I like beautiful
My-
things.
She likes beautiful things, expensive things too.
We will take that
She
into
gave me a
account.
car once. Political acumen, but she was not to last, unfortunately.
So you have no
Collateral
idea where
For
she
you.
is.
Oh, I wouldn't know, right, Don? I mean,
So it's been hinted time and time again that
her
She-
sire kidnapped her, right?
she is in some port on the island, on some boat or yacht, staked in a box.
Mhm.
in a box.
Yep.
Wow.
What more would I know about this, if anything?
That's as far as. Oh,
That's it.
I think someone had a tracking
When was
device.
this? When was this?
It's been.
Ages ago.
It's been a couple of episodes ago.
Well, there's that. So
I have
you really don't want her back.
I
You want
have
her assets. You don't want her back.
one last
Very well
question. I have one last question for you, Frank. Malkavian to
away.
Malkavian.
Hmm.
Because I know what. Well, the thing is, Frank, before I'm willing to accept you, I need to know why you're here. So please, tell us, what are you doing with the mad that you feel? Because if you're feeling angry, tell us why. We're here to listen.
Ugh.
Do you really want to know, Professor?
Well,
I come
if
from
we're
a
honest-
line of kindred who like to be very. I come from a line of kindred of military predisposition. You know,
Mhm.
they often mistake us for stiff upper lip sorts at times. I mean, have you ever seen Laura, my sister?
No.
I cannot say I've had the pleasure.
She's like something from Downton Abbey. Or Helen Mirren with, you know, prim, proper. We do not like to share our emotions, so careful what you wish for, Wilson. Professor.
No.
Because if
What
I
I-
had to go full Ahab, you wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. Nobody would.
It is why we are here to prevent that. That's the last thing we want, and it would serve none of us, and endanger us all.
I do agree with the professor that we should probably be very, very openly honest with each other, don't you think?
That of which I agree.
The professor can't help himself. He's a curious soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I have indulged, I believe, his curiosity.
Well then, Francis, at least for our sake, so we know exactly what we are working with. We want to trust you, and I believe trust begins with the truth, first and foremost. All of it. I will not pry, however, it is much well needed.
Very well then, what else do you need to know?
Why, as Johnny said, the professor, why the rage?
Where do we use the term irreconcilable differences?
Mm-hmm.
But
Divorces with a lot of baggage and a couple of kids thrown in as well.
so it's very personal.
My divorce, I still keep the fucking money. How would you like that? All of it. And it doesn't happen that my other partner was unfaithful, although they were, but it's more akin to the fact that the other partner is straight jacket material more than a Malkavian could be. You may have heard of certain rumors in Potterville about. Possibly not, but let's say the guys I'm hunting, they don't even know how to take care of the Masquerade. You always come to me. And you, Professor, you would know, right? You have that one student you keep pushing and pushing and encouraging and giving them the carrot and then giving them the stick, but nothing seems to stick. And then you'll be like, but why? So here is me finding my why. It's you, the people.
Well, that's not for me.
Okay, so
Let
we're
us
going into
wage
this.
your curiosity.
Sufficiently.
Curiosity killed the cat, and satisfaction brought it back. Now, Francis, you who know best about the situation, and if you were in mine, where would you start?
Start by making friends.
Are there still any you can
Slimo.
claim as good?
And
And
there's
Jason.
Paul, there's Martha, there's Jason, there's Laura.
Your sister in the blood, correct?
Correct.
Yes, that's
Is she a baroness?
She a baroness.
Of
Maleha.
Maleha, if I'm not mistaken. Quite right,
Nice.
exactly what I thought.
Nice big villa, big pool. She tried to get the kindred together to deal and discuss, very, very prim, very proper, but, zealots being zealots, right? So, I agree with you on that matter. They should fight it out and then go and kill the last straggler and take care of the matter. And then we'll need to replace Pieta with a more competent kindred.
The bar does not appear to be too high, apparently. But I digress. Very
But
well
the
then.
professor would like it to be very high, I'm sure. Wouldn't you
Standards
agree,
can always.
Professor? All that knowledge just stored inside you.
Roland. Maggie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've said all we need to say. You decide. And you know me. I'll follow, like usual.
Well, now let's not do this. I believe that we all have a say in this matter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Johnny?
Okay, out of character. Johnny has no actual tangential idea of what the politics are. He's been riffing all night purely because he does not care about what the politics is,
Just
right?
like teaching people and
Yeah. He just gets a rise out of asking people questions like that.
Yeah.
But
Valid.
what did actually strike him specifically is the mention of masquerade breaches. Those worry Johnny because he's been around the block enough to be worried about them.
Definitely. Especially with Malta being so tight knit as it is.
Yeah. So objectively, what are the options that have been presented to us? I'm not exactly.
Yeah, because I
Well,
noticed there was a lot of fancy talking,
Yeah.
and then I
Yeah.
was like, how does that translate to basic English, everyone? Like,
Yeah,
by the way,
exactly.
like,
I know.
the intellectual levels of IQ are like way up here, and I'm feeling like,
Yes,
okay,
always.
did I miss the A-level exam of English somewhere? Like,
Yeah.
That whole teacher-student banter, I could feel my test just drop excited, like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
so translation, please.
Oh, translation, please.
We can't afford to do anything by revenge. We must be entirely professional about it. Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's the primary thing.
I got that. What are the options being presented? Is I think the question presented, right?
Well, like what is
Translation.
making Maggie Baron, right? Of Slimo.
If
So
not
that's-
immediately,
by the way,
then
out of game, I think that is a horrible idea. Bringing someone just
Perfect.
freshly turned.
yeah, no. Or at the very least, like eyes and ears within Slimo. That was my go-to, if not immediate
Oh, yeah,
Baron
just a
which
representation pawn. Okay, gotcha.
exactly. I wouldn't say
That makes
pawn.
sense.
I trust dear Maggie.
As a baroness, I do not trust Maggie
Fair
at
enough.
all. The eyes and ears, definitely. I think she could get like information. She would have some sort of influence.
Yeah, exactly. But pawn.
I'm making
Oh
more
well.
friends, right? Getting more people.
We need to start making friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see. So there was the sister in the blood we mentioned. That would definitely be good. Frank himself, definitely. He knows most about the situation. He knows the Baron of Pieta the best. What else is there?
There's Jason.
Jason, definitely, especially for Roland's case, with the whole circulatory system and whatnot. Plus, would never hurt to, merge within that sort of vein, so to speak. All right. He mentioned the freezing. He mentioned the assets of Tatiana as well, I believe. No, Athena, not Tatiana. Sorry. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
since she is currently out of the picture, I feel like those assets should be taken over for the time being. I mean, the sire has met final death. The butler is under different control, I believe.
Yeah, I
Isn't
think
proper.
that's a really solid option to go for it
Mhm.
now before she shows up
Exactly.
again.
Exactly, and it's a funding if anything else. Let's see. Plus, if none of the other coterie are going for it, then it is probably for the best that we do in our stead.
So
I have a
strategically
feeling.
speaking, right? Let me just hover you guys over on Roll20 into the main page again. Give me a minute.
Of course.
Move. You
Out of character, if you guys have any better ideas, do let me know.
All right. So strategically speaking, right? You guys are a Zebbug Sijiri army, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your main HQ is Zebbug. Now, adjacent to you is Rabat, as you can see. So
Uh-huh.
that's your Hell Riders,
Yeah.
Hell Angels, whatever, Bruja, right there, sitting at your doorstep. And then you have the Bonsan situation, which I don't believe has really been mentioned, right, Luke?
We have
with Jason,
just
no?
I
not.
know
Yeah.
Jason has been
Yes.
mentioned, but I don't think his situation has been really thoroughly discussed.
Uh,
If I'm
Isn't
not
it that
paying
he's
attention.
being sort of? Isn't it that he's being harassed by
By another kindred.
the Tremere?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're on par with
We
that.
did
So,
mention the usurper, yeah.
right. So those are your main two concerns at your doorstep as a strategic point.
Mhm.
And then you pretty much have the whole, Pembroke, Ecleen, San Juan, you know,
Yeah.
situation right there.
Remind me about the situation real quick.
Which is the one you're saying about Pieta. So that's the
Ah,
combination.
right.
As you can see, whoever is kindred in this section pretty much is a power player here. Especially since Pieta is the main place where kindred holds the human politics by the cojones.
Mm.
As you have the two main HQ parties that are literally residing streets away from each other, and the HQ
Basically, yeah.
is right spot in the middle.
Mhm.
So that is your political standpoint on the island.
Right. So, for starters, what Roland is stating that it is best for the Hells Angels and for the Gangrel to deal with out within their own. Like, it would not make sense to they already have a reason to feud. Why not ignite the spark, so to speak?
Maggie wants to fuel the spark somehow, though, so that we
Agreed.
parry it. Parry it.
Anyone have any objections or anything?
No objections
Not
on
so
mine.
much an objection, just we need a good plan, so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Don't you like to smile after it's all been said and done, and then, Professor, then you release the madness?
So let's read it. What is our objective here? like in our mind? What is the objective we want to follow?
I'd say our objective is to find a way to weaken the influence of the Baron of Pieta, and from there we finish them off.
But I don't think that's our first goal, no?
Yeah, that can't
No.
I
be our
think that's
first goal.
much later, the
No,
Pieta one.
Definitely
Yeah.
not our first. Definitely not our first goal. No.
So short term, what are we doing today? You know, like Phineas and
Or then
Ferb, what are
Robot.
we doing today?
I'd say there's the Rabat thing as well, but that coincides with Pieta. So I suppose we could make friends as well. There's Frank's sister in the blood. There's the whole Balsan situation. An allegiance would always be beneficial.
Surely, like
I
Frank would be most useful, increasing the vampire count of this like organization, like increasing the amount of people like that have allegiance with us. So
Definitely.
if he wants to be useful, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see him get a few people.
Spread the good word and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think that's probably for the best. He has more connections than in the current situation.
You hear
Why not? Definitely.
the church bells ring outside. 5 strikes to the bell. This is 5 a.m. You all kind of look at each other for a moment, knowing that within minutes the sun is going to rise.
Well then,
Are we done then?
I suppose we can call.
Is the place where we are far away from the school?
No, you're pretty close proximity, just maybe a few blocks down. If you give it a good run, you should be able to make it in time.
Is it risky though? Is my question.
No, it's not that risky. You've done it before. You've been to Roland's place and back several times. You just know it needs a bit of a run.
Okay. So Johnny bits everyone to do and goes to bed.
Au revoir, Johnny.
Does my character have her own?
I mean, I suppose.
She's quite new, right?
Mhm. I suppose in this case, let's see. I'd say it's a big place. Would it make sense to offer her a place to stay?
Yeah, you have a spare room. You can offer her.
And what about Francis as well? I feel for that matter, wouldn't make sense to really kick him out now, would it?
Frank, if you think you could make yourself comfortable in an armchair, by all means.
I slept in worse. Plus, I'll be in torpor.
Very well then, he's off. Meeting adjourned. Shall we call it a day?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Terrific. Maggie, there's a spare room I can lend you. Francis, I can check what I have. However, I cannot promise anything for certain.
Good morning, moon. Good morning, stars.
Thank you, Roland. I'm sure it won't be to my liking, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Il-aħba milli kollatik. And he's hoping to himself that he said that right. Like,
that's a good boy.
Good boy. So, calls it night. Like, could he speak a bit to Francis, one-to-one, like before the sun comes up?
Sure, no problem.
Alright. Francis, a word.
Francis takes the seat. As if he's summoned by a professor, but certainly.
I thank you, first and foremost, for trying to help us here. I do appreciate it. Secondly, do understand, while I do want to help you, sometimes Maggie and the professor do offer some very useful insight.
You should do well to listen to their insight.
And I gladly do so. Every minor problem a grain of sand, and every night I inherit the desert, I would suffocate if it were not for them. But I digress. I thank you once more, and I'm sure we will come to a mutual agreement, and as per custom, I hope you can understand my hospitality. I'm sure you will compensate, certainly, with your actions or by other means. Can I get you anything else?
The pleasure of your company is gift enough, Roland.
Very well then. Good day, and I will be seeing you tomorrow evening. Or today.
And we slip into torpor.
Yes, we do.
So, let's go for a quick, shall we say 5 minutes? Is that enough for everyone to stretch their legs,
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Should be
like
fine.
that.
Yeah.
get a drink, and so forth? Alright, so let's go for a 5-minute break. We'll be right back with you
Mhm.
shortly.
Alrighty, terrific.
Frank's a klepto, wants your favors. Malcovian brain acts like Ventru. Stealing secrets, truths from lies. Auspex eyes see deep inside. Favors given, nothing free. Debt collector, unseen greed. Acts so smart but twisted roots. Collects just so knots up your boots. Frank's a thief in daylight. Giving favors doesn't seem right. Collects your debts with iron grip. Truth from lies, Auspex trip. Frank, with his smooth charade, slips through cracks like hidden blade. No one's safe from his dark trade. Merciless and unafraid. Hungry eyes take measure. Every favor, buried treasure. Twisting minds with silver tongue. Every debt forever young. The klepto plays his cunning game. In shadows quenched in burning flame. His hunger never satisfied. Favors earn false paradise.
Hello?
All
They
right.
got the woman from Desperate Housewives. Okay,
Dude, what? Who?
they just got like a bunch of like washed out Disney actresses to do this.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back with an interesting way of continuing the
Segue.
episode.
Was the Mean Girls 2 rant recorded?
Well, your last words towards it, yes. So, can everyone please give me a rouse check, please?
That's one blood, correct?
Can you
One
tell
die.
me how to do it on
So you
on
go
roll
into your
20?
character sheet, right?
Mhm.
And then you have, where is it? My
Oh, there's
God.
rouse check right under hunger, right?
Yes, there it is. Rouse
Uh,
check under hunger. So you scroll down under skills. There's your hunger. There's a button called rouse check, and you press it.
okay.
Oh.
Give
So
me a second.
Roland got hungrier.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Because I wasn't sure, like, if it actually rolled. Okay, so I'm on
Yeah,
2 hunger, correct?
Okay.
well,
S-
you should be on 2 hunger, yeah.
Even I got hunger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay,
So, we should be on 200 then. Okay. Fix that. There we go.
Do
Okay.
forgive me, this is my first time using roll 20, so I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah.
that's okay. It's all good.
So we should be on 2 hunger or 1
Yes,
hunger.
2 hunger. Those of you who failed the rouse check, yes, should be on 2 hunger.
Yeah.
I think all of you failed thus far. Frank is the only one who has to give me the roll.
Oh.
Drum roll, please.
Please, just don't fail.
You got this, Francis.
And
Nope.
he also failed.
Ah, gosh darn it.
We all hungry.
You all woke up a bit hungry.
Oh, dang it.
Roland is gonna be that suburban white dad, just like grabs a bag of blood from the fridge, just starts.
Alright. So, you all wake up. Let's start with Jake's character, Professor Johnny Cassar.
Mhm.
You are at the
Mhm.
school at the moment.
No, we're about an hour into this. I'd like to make this clear to the audience that Professor Johnny is not a professor. Not by any stretch of the imagination. He's a school teacher,
Oh,
but he thinks he's a professor. He likes it when people call him that.
Wow. Talk about stroking your own ego.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we are currently at the school.
Okay.
Our main character is stuck, I think. Or is it just me? Oh no, he's here. Okay.
What part of the school season is this, by the way? What are we like? Are we?
You're currently where did we say we were? So we're in autumn.
So the beginning of the semester? The first semester.
You're a student, right? That's why you know this, like.
No, I've not been a student for like 10 years, actually.
Really? No. Has
I'm a manager at the bank.
You're a manager of the bank now. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Okay, so
I'll talk about this later.
yeah, so basically, school has just started its semester, just roundabout. This is the end of September, beginning of or mid-October season at this point. So weather's still a bit humid. It's not that as hot as it was, but at least you as Kindred feel that the nighttime at this period of the year is actually better.
Okay.
So yeah,
So, from what I understand,
you should get up.
Johnny is, if I remember correctly, a Sandman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, What is the most Sandman thing he can do?
Cue Metallica, people. Let's go.
If not break into someone's house. What day of the week is this?
Let's hold on. Since you're that type of person that asks these type of questions.
Yeah, because
Should we just
I
go?
apologize, but people's nighttime activities change according to what day of the week it is.
So it was a Friday. Today is a Saturday.
It's Saturday.
I was hoping it was.
for you.
I was hoping it was gonna be like it's Wednesday, my dudes.
Just a period accurate meme. Is it?
Exactly.
Wait, so it's today. So it's Friday night.
Saturday.
Saturday night.
Saturday
Okay.
night.
So Saturday night.
Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday transitioning into Sunday after midnight, right?
Mhm.
For anyone who's ever worked night shifts in their lives, they know what I'm talking about. I've done it for 3 years.
Oh, yikes.
So, presumably, the best way for him to feed on a Saturday night is some guy's grandparents.
Well,
His grandparents.
You are in
Someone's
Zebbug,
grandparents.
you know?
Yeah, lots of old people in Zebbug.
Oi, oi.
I mean,
It's true.
Oh, does he know about the local? I'm gonna call them fauna. The local wildlife. The ones that are tired after Tombla.
is that a genuine question?
Yeah. What does he know about the local oldies?
All right, give me intelligence and streetwise.
Intelligence streetwise.
Is anyone here
So-
actually from Zebbug? Except me?
I went to school there for the first
Oh, so you know, yeah.
6 years of my life, so I have an idea.
Good idea, yeah.
I just know where the garage is and the kebab place is.
Intelligence. Okay.
Difficulty would be set at 2.
Difficulty 2. So I'm throwing intelligence for now, and then okay. So I have 0 streetwise. So it's just intelligence.
Just intelligence. Okay. All right. So that was successful. Yes. So remind me again what your question was, because I was so
So
Where
would he
are
know-
the oldies of Tombla?
Yeah, where they would sleep, the local
Would
old
you know
ladies.
where they are? Yes, you have an idea where they are. So you could pretty much find those side streets from.
Even just
Okay.
the main piazza, in the evenings, they're always
If you want to
older
go ahead and
people
do
there.
it, try to make things difficult for yourself, go ahead. I'm giving him options for side streets to make things easier. Damn, Maggie.
That's
Talk
fair.
about pushing it, pushing
You
the
just small
bar.
cousin Talbanda.
Okay.
So
So
we had Todd.
so the time should be. So it's early in the night, right? So they should be making their way home so they can go to bed.
No, by now it's one of those ex-siestas outside their door. They pull out those foldable wooden chairs with what we say in Maltese limroha, which is the
Roja.
fan.
Uh-huh.
The wooden
Oh.
fan.
So it's still daytime?
Fire.
And just huffing and puffing with their neighbors who just sat next to them.
Fantastic. So by his nature, he is of Malkavian, and he has those powers of obfuscate. One of them is Cloak of Shadows, and the other is Unseen Passage, which basically, correct me if I'm wrong here, he can walk around unseen.
With unseen passage, yeah.
Yes.
If I'm
So
not
would it?
What's wrong, Luke? Why
Is
do you
Luke
have this
okay?
face?
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. How are we? Because I haven't used obfuscate in a while. Am I correct about Unseen Passage?
I believe so. I'm more amused by Luke's face right now and like what's going on
Is he
there.
okay?
From my point of view, I actually can't see Luke's face for some reason.
So,
It's
Book
like
of Shadow. Yeah, of course, with a rouse check. So, may I rouse for Unseen Passage, please?
good luck. Go ahead. Make a rouse check.
How do you rouse? Gone.
It's the same thing under hunger. So
Same thing under hunger.
So you still activate the ability when you do this? It's just a matter of whether
Yes.
because you're activating the blood. Oof.
Okay, so he puts on his hunger, his Unseen Passage, and while those lovely old people are sitting outside their homes with their door unlocked,
Yeah.
he
It's like one of those
walks
things.
inside.
Hey, Marie,
Yeah.
Lom.
He walks inside and posts himself completely hidden by their bedside, awaiting them to come to find sleep.
It would seem that, give or take, 3/4 of an hour has passed. You hear the chairs folding and them saying goodbye in Maltese to one another, wishing each other bonsoir. You hear the heavy clunk of the door slam shut with one of those old, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the old locks that have like a massive handle on the side to withdraw the
Mm-hmm.
the key. The old lady makes her way inside, wobbling on her two swollen feet, and her bed is in the living room. It's a makeshift bedroom now, potentially because of her old age.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of just lets her weight drop onto the mattress. She lifts up one leg and with aid of her right hand brings up on the other leg. She quickly searches her nightstand for what seems to be a large cup of water and spits out her dentures. As she gets comfortable for bed, prepares her pee bucket from underneath the bed, and just switches on the telly on the one channel.
So it was
Nothing of note is there, just a replay of this family sitcom called Sympathy Chief comes on, and she's midway through an episode, and not only just a few minutes into the episode, maybe 5-10 minutes at best, she's already dozing off and snoring.
It's a shame. I got the old lady without a husband this time. What a shame. You know, it's like could have had two, but I got one. You know,
One.
it's just how it is. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
It is what
So-
it is.
Can he attempt to feed?
Yeah, of course.
What is the necessary roll for it?
I think it's just you say you feed. I don't. And since this is Sandman and you're
Mhm.
feeding your preferred way, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a matter of just unticking one of your hunger slots.
Fantastic.
Especially given he's like hunger 2, not hunger 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, having done this, just as a question to see if it's possible, now that I'm already in someone's house, and it's like a hot summer night, would it be possible to make my way to a neighbor's house through this one? Through an open window or something like that, now that I'm already inside, over the roof or something.
The rooftop is your best friend when it comes to this stuff, especially with if you entered an older building, they tend to have rooftops just semi-elevated from one another. They're just disbalanced. But yeah, it's just a hop over the small wall and get to your neighbor.
And is the neighbor also asleep?
I'll let the dice decide that in a minute. So let's go. Unfortunately, the neighbor is not asleep. You're seeing an old man. He's kind of just skimming through channels, trying to find something entertaining to watch. He's maybe in his late 50s, close to 60s, perhaps. His wife is definitely asleep, though. She is comfortably just on her sides, just breathing heavily away.
No, I'll wait. Cloak of Shadows and wait.
Okay. You wait out.
We'll see how much we'll see who wins. Insomnia. or old props.
Okay, let's see. So you wait it out, right?
Yeah.
He gets frustrated and doesn't find the channels that he wants or whatever he's been meaning to watch tonight. He doesn't find it. He just kind of, out of frustration, puts the TV off, just huddles onto his side, giving his back towards his wife. And it takes him a while to really get to sleep. He starts to shuffle in bed, toss and turn. Eventually, what seems to be a good 45 minutes into this, you finally hear the first symphony of a snore, which indicates that he is out.
Ain't that pretty? Okay, let's feed on him, and then we're done. We can go to Roland's office or whatever his house is.
It's just a house. Roland owns his own little property. Okay. So, cutting scene towards Frank, Maggie, and Roland. We don't have Johnny here, so it's you three that wake up a tad hungrier than the night before. Perhaps conversations of things to come, things that could be, and the whole political issue of it all arouses the beast overnight, well, over day in your case. You bid each other a good evening as you patrol Roland's property. I'll leave the floor to you until I inject Johnny into the conversation.
Good evening, all.
Hello. I'm quite hungry.
Yes, me too.
I have an
Who
idea.
knew? Yes?
I happen to know of a good party happening today at this time.
Party. I see. Maggie,
like
Maggie, you will forgive me, but parties aren't really my thing. I hope you can understand.
It's so boring.
Where
I
is
could
the
use a party, Maggie.
That's the spirit. It would do you some good to loosen up a little bit, you know.
Parties aren't quite what they were in my time, and even then, no, I'm an old thing such as myself wouldn't fit quite in.
But we could make connections. We could start building, you know,
Well,
these relationships we need so much.
Listen to the girl, Roland.
I happen to know of parties in Slim. I happen to know of parties in Portugal. I happen to know of one in particular in St. Paul's Bay.
well
There's the
then,
rock place with the booch.
Well then,
The rock
I
place.
bet next to the bay.
Sorry?
Next to the bay. I digress. I'll leave it up to the professional to decide where it's best to go. Do excuse me for a moment. In this moment, Roland would go take a drink and make sure that he's not hungry.
How are you feeding?
I'm a beggar, correct?
Okay, just to be sure.
I
Oh,
need
yeah,
beautiful
definitely.
people.
That explains so much.
The Francis is like, oh, this is like Athena, but well, she's got less. Well, she says party. She didn't say well. Okay. Then he's like, well, you guys, you never change, but you like you the way you are, right? The beautiful people.
Well, you seem rather interested in the party.
Well, parties usually have that one guy who's dozing off as well, so you go get your beautiful people. I'll get that guy.
You know, there are also a lot of people who are under the influence at a party. It's a very good way to get information and, you know.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, Maggie. But that's where you excel. See, I excel in being a little bit more quiet. But you're so young, that it's a miracle how you stick with these two and with someone like me. But you'll learn.
You know, I
You'll
ask
learn.
myself that every day. Suit
I
yourself.
know, right? I
You
know, right?
hear
Hey,
Someone has
let's
knock on the door, like almost the back of a fist. Go boom, boom, boom. Hey, you've
Yeah.
Roland.
I think that must be Johnny. 1 second. I go open for him, flask still in hand, like, bonsoir.
Oh, Halikman Bonsoir, as the chef friend of yours, Chris, barges into the room. I don't know how the fuck you eat this. And he kind of just gives you a cooler bag. But
Terrific. That must be my breakfast. Thanks,
breakfast.
Chris.
You call this breakfast? Yeah. I don't know how you eat it.
Question out of character.
Right.
Chris
So
is
Chris is the he is the Nosferatu chef.
okay. Terrific. That was what I was going to ask. Is he
One of the
kindred?
characters that you have not chosen.
All right.
Okay, these are still viable characters within the campaign. Chris
Interesting.
particularly loves to feed on fatty people or people who just ate fatty foods.
Fair enough.
So he has quite a
Oh,
palate to him. So you drinking out of blood bags, is a sin to him, essentially.
Fair enough.
And he's your go-to guy to help you get the orders in. So to speak, he's your connection to get to the
Alright.
blood bags. You know, kindred to kindreds. You help each other out. You
Ah,
know,
cool.
apart from
Oh.
you being the Baron, of course.
Or wine mouth. We all have to feed one way or another. This is what I got.
Oh, inti, sabiha, Maggie. You're going to let him tell you what to eat? What are you eating
I'm
today?
not telling her what to eat.
Moshe, he doesn't tell me what I eat. I eat from beautiful people only. Do you see anyone beautiful here? No. That's why I'm going to make my way to a party. Do you want to join?
Party, no, sabiha, you're on this show. I'm busy, I'm working tonight. And, Odan, who is this?
well, man.
He heard you say beautiful people.
Yeah.
And he kind of nods towards Frank. And this one, who's this?
This is
Ouch,
Mr.
B.
Camilleri.
Mr. Camilleri?
Frank.
Yes, Francis.
Oh, Francis. Well, profs fejn jgħat?
X'ismek, bro?
Where's the profs? He comes
The profs-
over
Ah.
and he grabs your hand and shakes it roughly, like a chef does. Chris, I'm Chris.
Pjaċir.
I'm not used to this Inglesati kolla, but you know Roland here, I taught him some Maltese or two.
Kemm ħelu.
In learning every language, it's always the swear words.
Yes.
Oh, whatever, I don't know.
Fush, mux ekku.
The classics.
Eventually you hear a more... how does Johnny actually knock on the door of Roland?
Yeah, standard teacher's rap, very disciplined, sort of 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Now, that must be the professor. I will be back shortly. I open the door. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, Roland. How are you feeling?
Oh,
Man Gergish. Wind?
He's learning so well. Fantastic.
I try.
Cannot complain. I'm freshly fed. Is everyone freshly fed and ready for a day of work?
ush, freshly...
Oh,
Arem mara taħraqnix int lejla. I'm sorry.
Bonjour,
I know
bonsoir,
want to
Chris.
be on fire tonight. I have a lot to do. If you need another order, Roland. But you call me, okay? You have my number. Maggie,
I
sabiħa,
will-
mwah. Ciao Leila u nice meeting you, Mr. Franklin.
Ciao, ciao.
Arem tlaqt.
Oh, sì.
Ciao, Chris.
Good night.
Johnny.
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes,
Do
Maggie?
you want to join me to a
To do what,
party?
Maggie? A party.
To find good-looking people. I'm
Do you hand
desperate.
at parties?
You ask me every 2 weekends about this. You know I'm too old for a
I
party.
hope one day you'll change your mind. You're killing
Frank
me
is
here,
like-
people.
Wait a second. Għalna Frank illustra. Frank had a club, for fuck's sake, once upon a time.
Once upon a time, yes.
He had a
Seriously?
He doesn't have.
Dude,
How far has Frank fallen?
Hugo kien iġi boost li l-tubazzajr, alright? Kont
He doesn't have
il-king
the
ta'
club anymore.
Poċevil brojjena.
No,
Remind me.
he lost it because there was a shootout.
Hey.
Oh no.
He was attacked. Him and his cohort at the time were attacked by the what do they call them?
The second Inquisition.
The Inquisition. Yeah.
Ooh,
He's
not good.
32, and his date of death was in 2004. So if he was partying, he remembers. So what's his name? Johnny would remember, like the early 2000s Pocheville scene,
Yeah.
like just Stanios Shemshus Sabiha.
Oh,
Like-
shit. Actually, I should roll this 22 as well.
Older.
Yeah,
Frank
okay. I
is-
think
Frank is older, but
would Frank remember that period?
Frank the late 80s, bro.
Frank is
Oh,
the
shit.
80s. Like,
I mean, I used to be the Lucifer fil-club tiegħi, ma tħalluli. I had all the beautiful people. I had a policy not to eat from the bouncer, okay? That was my
Actually,
only
tell you
policy.
what, I'll make this a fair situation for you. Roll me intelligence and either politics.
Me?
No, talking to Frank. So intelligence and politics, or streetwise is your alternative choice, with a difficulty of 3. drum roll. The intention. And we lost track. That's
Yeah.
it. Jesus, I asked him to do
Oh.
a roll and he died.
Just okay, like so, like what, like while we wait
There
for
he
him,
is.
like
There he is.
Oh,
is he
look
back?
at me.
Mela, you heard what I said. Intelligence. Roll me intelligence and politics, or intelligence and streetwise with a difficulty of 3. And tell me what you get. We're gonna see if that club has been released. Not only has it been released, bro, but they actually compensated you for the damages they've done in their searches. Well done. The club is back on, Frank.
Why is your
I'm a fair storyteller. And
Oh, they They used to come to my club and they used to feed in my club and they used to
alright.
used to wait in the night in my club.
So yeah,
At
you
diff-
can
and
you
then he's
can
like,
get that
he's telling
resource
you all
back.
this with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Does
Yeah.
Maggie want to
And-
go to this club?
Like,
Is the question.
I think she's desperate enough to want to go to
So,
anywhere
yeah.
right now, as long as she can
Yeah.
find someone good looking to feed on.
like Maggie, like
So how good
Lexus.
looking are you? Are you talking, man?
Lexus, is it still open
Yeah, I believe so.
in 2016?
Yeah.
I'm
Is
not
that-
sure if
was-
it is out of character.
Was Access still open in 2016?
I don't know.
I think it
Believe
was
it or
on
not,
the way
I
out.
don't club. I never did. What access to how do you spell it?
AXIS, you know.
Malta,
Guess of Saint Julian. No.
Ghost of Potterville. Wow.
Ghost. Good old days.
I
mean,
mean,
keep in mind,
2002 was its hype apparently.
Yeah, that's why.
1988. Yes,
Yeah, okay, it's gone. It's gone.
it's gone. It was gone. Never mind.
Yeah, by 2016, it's gone.
Was it?
Yeah.
Forget axes, okay? Let's go to like
Mm,
plush.
What will we need access for? Oh,
2016 mux strip clubs kien hemm il-gentleman, Paris daw
Aha.
kollha
was
hemmhekk
the
kulħadd
peak.
għażiż
Still there,
għajnek biex
Yeah.
the peak of everyone giving you the free tickets. And then for plush as well for the shisha.
Yeah, Access Club was
Yeah.
gonna.
Oh, yeah,
turn
me
in
and-
2010 was like its death.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
We had track that Toreador down right in the Axis, or wasn't that not Axis
That
in
was
the first
Sky
ever
Club.
session?
That's Sky Club.
Sky Club.
So okay, yeah, okay. So like Johnny will follow literally, but like in a sort of how can I say this? I think he might feel out of place, but he can join in.
Roland would mostly stay with Johnny because, well, old fucking soul like Roland, he's gonna be out of place, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
we're-
get to call Paul and Marta so we can meet them. The kindred of Slima. Because Paul lives in Slima or St. Julian's, remember?
Well, yes. Martha.
Well, yes. Marta was my NPC, kind of the one who had to save the Toreador with the circulatory system thingy. But
Lallu. Okay.
up to you. I know. I keep tabs, yeah.
You keep good.
Anyway,
tabs.
so yeah. I'm a good storyteller. I'm not saying you're a best storyteller. I'm an
Whoa.
accountant storyteller.
Whoa.
Girls,
Shots
please,
fired,
don't
shots
pity.
fired.
Alright. So, what's
Cool.
happening? We're
We
going to
can
what
call
club?
Paul.
For the beautiful people for Maggie. Which club?
We can go to my club. We can go to many clubs.
I'm curious to go to your club.
Okay.
Didn't you wanna
Let's
go?
see what you have to offer.
Someone else keep it brandy or Hassan. I need to see, yeah, and maybe I can get you into the whole committee thingy, you know. Faking in the club, eżatt.
So it was in St. Julian's. Man,
Fakkarni faking don, yeah.
it was on one of the side streets. So roll 20. Is this it? Yeah. Hold on, let me just.
Għala Thirsty Barber, kien daqxej fancy, ju.
Aha, somewhere that side of things. So
In the meantime, in the car, I'm texting Paul, and I'll see if he's available.
all right, so we're grabbing. Does everyone have a ride, or like is everyone just?
I was about to ask, how are we getting
Is
there?
It's like, or is everyone just kind of relying on Frank here?
I mean,
Yeah, it wouldn't
I
be the
have
first time.
I have 2 dots in drive. I think I would have something.
Let me check as well.
Yeah, let me check my character sheet. Let's see.
Let me.
I have 1 dot in drive.
You have 1 dot in drive. Okay, that's pretty good.
My character is the consummate walks everywhere, and if he can't do it, he will bus it everywhere type of person.
Yeah, let's bust it down.
Taking them all the way to the sheriff bank.
Yeah, so he's got like the night bus fever. Let me see if there are like any night buses that actually go.
Oh my god.
Let me check the bus route. See if
Johnny,
he actually has.
drive you. You can just
Stuck
grab
the
a
whole
ride with us.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I'll come with then.
You teach me things. I drive in my Cinquecento. Yeah,
An old Toyota.
that's my dad bought me when I was alive.
Is that assuming that your dad is not alive?
No, when
No,
she was alive.
When I was alive.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Sorry, I misheard that. Completely misheard that. Jeez, Louise. Okay, I know. Which means I grab you guys. Okay.
I'm going on that trip.
Johnny.
Road trip of like 10 minutes.
A trip is a trip, nonetheless.
Is it 10 minutes from Zebbug to Butcherville that long?
No, it's like, I don't know, 15, 20, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. 15, no more than 20.
For a second, I was gonna suggest, the garage has a boot, but like, I'm not sure.
That
She-
wasn't open at the time.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah. Plus, like, she
It's
wants
good.
handsome people, not like hormonal teenagers. So
I was about to say, like, I don't think Maggie would be happy with the Gorgeous Booch. She's like an
teenagers. In
influencer.
the boots, they're more like. They're more on the older side, I guess. Or 29, 28 and older. So, if you've ever been to Zebbug, but clearly you haven't been to the garage, right? Depends. Oh. Depends on the scene as usual. So we go.
You were saying?
I guess we go to my club. I'll see how it is. And I'll tell Maggie all about the one time the gang girl wanted to put rats in my club just to prove a fucking point, and
Oh, God.
Rat?
he's basically.
Talk about
This is all
memory
canon,
lane.
by the way.
Yes.
This is all canon. And
It's
yeah,
like memory lane, dude.
yeah. Frank has a long memory, and he was about to become Baron of this place.
Until he wasn't.
Yes. And basically, she's his agony aunt palissa, miskina, Maggie. But he shows you around. Like I said,
you want to know what's
not-
okay? So you arrive at the place, and
Oh, nice.
Gosh, damn it, Tiffany.
so
if we're in the app.
yeah,
Mhm.
you're in the app. So you're in the venue. The place has been well refurbished. Whoever is taking care of this for you, Frank, has done an absolutely beautiful job. You notice there's new furniture, there's new lights. He's really moderned it up. There's actually a DJ booth at the back of the whole thing. Um, the the beats here are like upbeat, but not to the extreme. There's this, you can kind of sway to the music kind of scenario. Apologies, I did not have NPCs ready for this, but
Yeah.
pretty much the place is packed at this point
Okay.
in time with people, both local and foreigners. The smell of alcohol in the air, of spirits, is just
Yum.
buzzing the place. Um, as the DJ is kind of just doing his groove. There's a couple of, girls on the dance floor. There's this one more muscular guy just trying to see how he's gonna dance his way to one of them. He seems uncertain. But yeah, it's a whole, weekend vibe right here, right now on a Saturday night at the club that Frank owns. You kind of look at it for the
Since the
first time
unseen.
since the incident
Yeah, sure.
shootouts. It's yeah.
Probably rolling PTSD as well. Ostia, man, I need to roll on the dub, but I got a 7, an 8, a 9, and a 0. Like,
7 and 8 and 9 and okay, nice. Wow,
Very nice.
that's very nice. That's 4 successes for you.
yeah,
Yeah, the dice are not gonna let you down tonight, it seems, for whatever you're rolling. But anyways,
Luck will be in the air tonight.
so yeah, Maggie, the one side of this place has Swedish blood just chattering away. Beautiful Swedish looking people, those tall blondes on the
Yeah.
side. Then you have your bimbo Americans on the other side. They're kind of just like, oh, holiday, just
My God.
yeah, exactly, you know. And sorry, and yeah, so there's a couple of average looking people as well, so there's a variety, but you notice particularly these two sets of groups which are just adjacent to each other almost, that's just
Okay.
seem so delish to you.
Okay. Yeah. I guess she goes for, the Swedish people.
Okay, cool. You just awkwardly sat there. what's the situation?
No.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I guess she goes up to them. Is it is it a whole group of people, or is it what is she saying?
So we're looking at. Hold on. So. So it seems like a big group of 8 for you tonight.
8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she goes up to them. She starts talking. Can she assess how drunk they are?
You can definitely do so if you give me a resolve and a. What shall we go up against?
Resolve.
And I guess awareness.
Awareness.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can activate any heightened senses if you have them.
What is second attribute? Oh yeah, okay. No, wait, what is second attribute?
So resolve would be primary, awareness would be secondary.
So you're
Yeah,
gonna.
for some reason
So you
I
click
can't
on
find
your
awareness.
resolve.
Yeah?
That's the reason why. So you need to click on initially your awareness, and
Oh,
then
initially awareness.
yes, because it's an awareness
Okay,
check.
1 second.
You're gonna add your resolve to it.
Okay. Submit and then pool size modifier.
0, unless you're going to heighten senses or something like that, where you need to add dice to it.
Um,
Go to
I
aspects
guess
if
I
you have
could.
heightened sense.
Yeah, I have it. So
You can add
add one,
your specs
done, right?
rating, Mela.
Yeah, and submit.
Yeah.
Difficulty? Nothing, right?
So
0.
difficulty would be at 3.
Oh, 3. Okay. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. So, unfortunately for you, they have just started, it seems, their lines of shots. If they're not
Ha.
wasted right now, they're about to get wasted in a matter of drinks in. As you
She goes to the
notice.
bar and buys drinks for them.
Nice. Alright.
Shots.
So,
Yeah.
they appreciate you and ask you to join in as they start emptying the shots one after the other. They sort of like start playing a game between them as well.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
they are starting to look like the world is hazy and nice right now.
Perfect. Yeah. Let me just see what I can do. I guess she tries to lure one of them like either into a shadowy area or outside.
Sure, you can definitely do that. There is so Frank being Frank has obviously always needed compartments of privacy. And in the back rooms he does have curtains, kind of what do you call them? Pods.
Boots or butts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could definitely lure one in
Hmm?
if you wish to do so.
Yeah.
So now the question is, what are we doing here? Are we seducing? Are we using powers in order to lure them in?
No, seducing. She doesn't want to like risk the masquerades over here. And she thinks that since they're quite drunk, that she could do it without having to use her powers.
Nice. Okay. So we can go ahead and get a roll in that case.
Yes.
So,
that's your roll, sorry.
so we're going for persuasion
Okay.
with charisma or manipulation. I will let you choose your poison.
Charisma.
Okay. Using your magic charms, your youth to your benefit.
Difficulty also 3?
The difficulty has now reduced to 2.
Yes. Okay, 4 of 2.
Nice. You successfully lure one of them away. Which one of them? What are we looking at? Like, if you had to kind of, in your mind, in your mind's eye, with the Swedish. There's a mixture of men and women. What's your
Yeah.
pick?
I think she picked a woman.
Okay. What is this woman looking like to in your mind's eye when you're
Blonde, quite tall. Like in her head, in my head, I guess like all the other men were vying for this woman, which made her more desirable to Maggie because everyone else wanted her, so she wanted her.
she follows you with that eye of like, ha ha ha, okay, like someone wants to be naughty tonight. And as you take her to the booth, you sit her down on the comfy sofa. Exactly as
Yeah.
you get into kind of an intimate moment with this girl, you suck in the life force that sustains you.
Yeah.
That pretty much sedates the beast.
Mhm.
You can go ahead and knock off one hunger if you wish.
Mm.
Almost as if you feel beautiful, equal to this human being, now that you've drained their blood. Poetically, almost like, was it Queen Elizabeth? Who was it that had this tendency to.
The one that like the blood on her
Yeah,
face
that
or whatever.
it
Yeah.
was kind of like that, but in
Battery.
Battery. She was Elizabeth, but
Mhm.
not English.
Yeah, yeah.
so you almost feel like that, just with the consumption of it all.
Yeah.
All right, what are
I
what
can
are the
imagine almost Frank overseeing this because he had bad experiences with Athena, and then he's like approving and is like,
oh
look
yeah,
at that
Athena.
work of art. And it's like, he's like being, I mean, he's the owner of this club, so he's being very careful, but now he's like, there's potential in here. And you can almost, Frank is almost, I'm imagining him like a hound sniffing at the blood, but he can't get it. He can say, he's not, he's not a Ventru because he can't taste the blood, so he can. But it's like it's not his jam, but it's like this is good vibes. And then he's like
Remind me,
looking at
Frank. What
someone
is
who's
what
a
is
little.
your
I'm a Sandman.
preferred?
I'm
Your
a
Sandman
Sandman.
as well. Okay.
So and it's been it's been way too long since I've had my preference like I wanted. I'm looking at maybe that one student who has been, a little bit on the tired side. Maybe he's doing a part time as well. Maybe his friends dragged him out, or her friends dragged her out,
You see an
and
old
she's not
regular
exactly.
actually, on the bar, and you know that he likes to pretty much drink until he's knocked out, and he's just snoring on the bar early for the night, but is there knocked out.
Ooh,
So I don't
okay.
know if you want to treat yourself to that.
I'll get one of my security guards to get him away into one of the booths.
Sure.
Tipo anke n-nis l-oħrajn jistgħu jpoġġu fil-bar bil-kwiet, not being inconvenience. And then I'll feed from him. And it's Maggie had a very good idea to go partying tonight because Frank hasn't had a bit of fun in ages, and he just fills his neck, gets his fill, licks the wound clean, everything is prim proper. He'll order. He's drunk, right? So he'll order a couple of orange juices, so he'll revive properly. But he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And then he just wipes the blood off with his handkerchief and comes out. And he's feeling like $1,000,000. And he's like, Maggie, this was a good idea. Thank you.
Roland,
You're
you are
welcome.
being approached
Nice club.
by beautiful, almost half dressed, if not half undressed, women going, "Hey, handsome," and kind of just stroking their index finger down your chest. They're like, flirting with you and stuff. How does Roland feel around such a noisy, you know,
Uh,
Yeah.
let's see. Roland's ideal night would be like mostly either like attending to his work or like something more quiet. Maybe at most like if he has to go out, it'll be probably something quieter than this. Parties are not his thing, especially like now more than ever since he's been alive for as long as he has. He just chalk it down to like put up a smile and like just go hi and that sort of thing, you know?
All right. And Johnny, what the hell does Johnny feel in this scenario?
Johnny has made his way to the bathroom where the coke is being snorted, effectively speaking, because he knows that the best way to actually engage with the people here that won't break the masquerade is to make it seem like he's on something. So, okay, yeah, the coke won't really affect him, but now he can dance as much as he wants, and he can talk to the girl with the thigh high black boots about how the upside down cross that she's wearing is, a Catholic Petrine cross, and he's completely free to just bust it down. He doesn't really like the music, he prefers something like Nirvana because that's his type. That's his age of music. He likes Duran Duran.
You happen to just be talking to one of the Americans, and she's like, "Yeah, I know, right?" Like really out of it, just agreeing
they're all
with
out
you.
of it. Yeah, they're
Gosh.
out of it. He's just having a good time.
God bless.
Alrighty.
Are you quoting them Dostoevsky, Professor?
No, I don't think I would. Jake would do that, not the character.
I mean,
Jake would do it, not the character.
You'll hire Satoru-san.
I thought that was thing is, like
Still, it's real.
everyone thinks he's a champ for doing a line of coke, and it doesn't seem like it affects him at all. But like, it doesn't because he's a vampire.
Well, yeah, about that actually.
Yeah, like it doesn't affect him. The only way it's going to affect him is if he has to suck it out of someone. So he's just vibing there. He's having a good time. Can't complain.
Nice. Alrighty. So everyone's having a bit of their fun as much as they can. Eventually you all end up at the same kind of bar, standing. What? Words are losing my brain not computing. So you're at the bar. You're all kind of standing with each other at this point after you've had your fun, and you're kind of looking at each other. And who's gonna break the first word?
Sure, why not?
So, are you having fun?
It was one of the first part I've been to in quite a while, and I can't complain other than I think she spilled a bit of a drink on me.
It's okay. It's part of it.
Was that
Part
all
of the
just spilled,
experience.
brother?
Just relax.
He certainly seemed relaxed, but I digress. I assume you've all had your fill?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Did you know that
satisfied.
the red noses that all of these individuals have in this club, that's a sure sign of drinking.
Huh.
The
Wow.
alcohol. The
You're
alcohol
really
makes.
smart.
Yeah, the blood makes. Mm-hmm.
You have something here. Do you need a
Handkerchief, please.
of course, let's say.
You don't.
Here you go.
You're more
You
fun
don't.
than I thought, Professor.
You don't really feel the dust anymore, but it's fine.
Unfortunately. Where's Frank?
Frank is next to you guys. Probably meeting and greeting more people because he's the owner. He hasn't been in charge in a long while, but he's there and he waves at you. There's probably one of those annoying VIPs, couple of MPs.
Mm.
They're probably asking for that particular dancer, Soul too, and he's like, well, we'll see what we can do. And doesn't have Maggie's charm. He's more money, power. Probably there's Marilyn Manson singing in the background of his voice. And he waves you over and is like, so you all having a good time?
Monkey Groove.
Bomba.
That's good, that's good.
You seem to be enjoying yourself, Francis.
Francis hasn't enjoyed himself in ages, brother.
It does so to let loose from time to time, eh,
Yes.
brother?
A redhead individual makes her way over to where you all are sitting. She kind of leans in, very cocky, and goes like, "Any of you baggies?"
Professor, do you?
Is she mortal or kindred?
She,
Everything okay?
she looks kindred for the most part.
So strange.
It's awareness.
Mm-hmm. Could I'll roll that as well.
Yeah, could go ahead.
Can we all?
You can all roll. Let's see. Difficulty at 2. My people.
What's awareness?
So you click on awareness, then add wits. Nice.
Let's see.
2 of 2 for me.
Let's see. Click on wits and awareness, correct?
Click on
Awareness and then
awareness
wits.
and then wits.
What's the difficulty?
2.
2.
Bestial failure.
Yeesh.
Bestial
Jeez.
failure.
I think I rolled what I get.
Did you roll?
I should have to. Second attribute being none, correct?
Exactly. Wait,
Yeah.
no.
No, wait. It's awareness and then second attribute is wits.
Alright. Wit. Not intelligence. Wits. Alright, submit. Pool size modifier, nothing, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah? And then 2.
Hey,
Terrific.
Nice.
Not bad.
nice. So those of you who
Alright.
succeeded can tell she's a kindred, and she's asking if any of you are interested in buying blood bags.
Oh.
Okay, and is she showing us the baggie?
No, she's just leaning over, looking at each and every one of you one by one, just holding a gaze at whoever gives her any form of attention, and just kind of like, you? Do you want a baggie?
And Wilson had not Wilson, what's his name? Johnny had a bestial failure, right?
Yep.
What would I
Yeah,
need
Maggie just. Yeah?
It's like, why would I need a bag of anything?
Yeah, I was about to be like, what are you talking about?
Could
DB
Roland's going
Coke.
to like interject. And you would be?
Names aren't important here, honey. It's a matter of do you want it or don't you. I got the good stuff. Taken off from people that have been taking stuff. So you can kind of feel the high. You feel me?
Like
I
phenyl
understand.
Think about it like
know.
acids. You know, think about the if you've ever seen the movie of Jack Black, like, oh my god, Tenacious D, like he's been going on that trip of like Mushroom Land or something, that's the kind of hit you're gonna get from these baggies.
Can I like see what's on her? Like what is she wearing and what is she carrying?
So as an external point of view, she's wearing like this leather jacket that seems to be a bit bigger for her build. Fishnets, shorts, leather skirt, studded, and she's wearing these like biker boots that are pretty worn out. She's got this like rocker chick vibe going on. She's got red hair, lipstick which is put on badly, unsymmetrical. So not the best looking girl around, but she seems to know her business. If she's hiding any packs, it would be right in the pockets of that jacket, clearly trying to keep the blood warm.
Since Roland is a bagger, would he recognize the individual or
Give
not
me
really?
a roll. Give me, let's call it a intelligence and streetwise. So streetwise and intelligence, right? Politics and intelligence also is your options.
So I can do either streetwise or politics and intelligence, correct?
Yes.
Terrific. I'll go with politics.
We
give
lose
it.
Luke completely, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. I think we lost the guy.
Luke, you're missing out
Ah,
on
no,
all the
alright.
nice stuff.
Guys,
He's back. Is he back?
Is he back? Is he there?
no, I'm. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
meantime, given
JJ.
that Johnny has suffered a bestial failure, he's just explaining to literally anyone close by what psilocybin is.
What is? I don't think
It's
I
a-
want to know. Like,
It's it's a type. It's a drug because like she's like a baggie, then she's like people who are on acid, and suddenly he's talking about psilocybin because it's a
and
bestial
she's
failure. And he's
there,
literally out of it.
she's
He's
there
out of it.
Like, he kind of gives a help me look to one of you, from
Yeah.
the professor. So yeah.
Yeah.
In your
I rolled a
roll-
2.
Yeah, I can see that. And with a 2, you recognize this individual as. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Gideon puts it in. Nice one.
Just as a side note, I soon need to head off.
Yes,
That's
don't
all.
worry, I'm concluding.
Yeah.
If you give me a sec. So,
Yes.
Diana. She is a person who takes care of the needy kindred. And she's got every type of blood bag that you need. Be it drugged, or be it clean, or of a specific blood type. She's the go-to person. And apparently, she's doing some of her hits here in Portugal this weekend. And lucky for you, she walked in to the one club that you all are in.
How fortunate. And
Good
sus.
Good evening, Diana.
And you are.
How do you know?
Not important names.
If you're not important, darling, then don't call me by my name. If you're not important, I'm not important, and that's the way we roll here. Now, do you want a baggie or not? As she slightly kind of reveals one of the baggies from underneath her vest. And we're gonna end the session here. We'll see how this
Alright.
continues next time. Thank you so much for being
Yes.
my players this evening.
Thank you. It was a really good session.
Until next time,
Thank
people.
you.
Until
See you.
next time.